The Shot is a really brilliant Rugrats episode and completely relatable because I hate getting shots, vaccines, absolutely terrified of them. So I completely was absorbed in Chuckie's story, which I'll talk about in a moment. But this is the second segment of the third episode of the second season of Rugrats. And Tommy is getting his, and I quote, rooster shot, his booster. And Chuckie tells him this really terrifying story about the brilliantly named Dr. Lecter and about how it's actually a really terrifying experience. And he cries, and then the doctor says, "That wasn't so bad, was it?" Which I have to say has been said to me. And it's like, well, yeah, maybe the actual event wasn't as bad as I feared, but the anxiety building up to it was terrifying. So I completely just believed everything Chuckie was saying, and it was wonderfully animated, very dark and terrifying. And I did think, is this going to make some children scared of getting a booster shot? But as long as they watch the full episode, it should be okay. And then most of the episode thereafter is actually set in the waiting room of the doctor's surgery, and Tommy meets a little boy there called Hector, who is also there to get his booster, and Tommy tells Hector what is actually in store for him, which kind of made me laugh because had it not been for Chuckie's story, Hector would have been none the wiser, and they both try and escape. But Angelica is also there with Drew. Angelica is coincidentally getting a vaccine and or a booster shot or whatever she's there for, and she's got a really great role in this that helps to carry the narrative forward in a way that I thought was very effective, but also what we see with her at the end I thought was really interesting. But I'll discuss that with a spoiler warning in a moment. Pandemonium strikes when the babies try and disappear, and the doctor's surgery basically goes into lockdown to find the missing babies. And I have to say, that bit was wonderfully done. I mean, the whole thing was great, but there's this character, a very matronly woman. Was she wearing pink? I think she's the one in pink, if I remember rightly. But she had a kind of burly attitude, and she was really brilliant. And the line about hoping that the babies didn't get into the pathology lab just kind of made me laugh a little bit because, well, first of all, I thought they were in a general doctor's surgery where there isn't a pathology lab, so that kind of amused me a lot. But there's a bit of animation there where the babies are on a trolley and it's hurtling down this long pink corridor, and it's just so wonderfully animated that I absolutely adored it. And I just thought it was brilliant. Really well developed episode, definitely very atmospheric. If, like me and Chuckie, you hate getting needles, it will make you feel a bit sick. But stick with it. So I'll discuss now, with a spoiler warning, what happens right... Oh, actually, no. Before I do that, I want to just get really annoyed by something. Drew said to Angelica when she tried to tell him about the babies, and I quote, "When grown-ups are talking, little girls and little boys are supposed to wait quietly." I wanted to punch him because I just thought that's just such a terrible attitude. That's saying that what children have to say is not as important as what the grown-ups have to say. Obviously, you need to teach children to not interrupt and to not be rude, but sometimes children, as with Angelica, actually have important things to say. But Drew kind of said something immediately after that that meant that the episode was very aware that what it was saying was stupid, and I liked that and I appreciated that. But now, spoilers, at the end of the episode, the babies get their shots and it wasn't that bad and they get lollipops. I don't ever remember getting a lollipop after a doctor's visit. Maybe I did, but stickers, yes, definitely stickers. I don't remember getting lollipops. Maybe I did. But they were absolutely fine. Because let's face it, even though the anxiety is often colossal, the event is rarely as scary as we make it out to be. But Angelica was crying, and I love that it shows that actually even older children can find it scary. They may put on this tough exterior, but when it comes down to it, it does hurt. And if you cry, so be it. That's absolutely fine. I honestly think it was a beautifully written, beautifully animated, atmospheric, slightly terrifying episode that was actually, for me as an adult, a pleasure to watch. I appreciated a lot of the creativity in it. It's very well written. And I think I remember this one from my childhood. I think. And that doesn't surprise me because it's a pretty powerful episode. Bits of it were floating around in my memory. Not the full thing, but bits here and there. I have to say, so far, The Shot is one of the best episodes.